This tutorial video is meant to supply teachers with the information and framework they need in order to grade and give feedback on a network or district-wide assessment. In other words, if your district or network is giving a benchmark exam, an end-of-unit assessment, a priority target task, and they've sent out an assignment for you to utilize, this is the video that shows you how to hand the work to the assistant that they built for you in order to grade it more efficiently, more effectively, in a calibrated and normed way. So first and foremost, at the district level, what's happening is someone on your team is training and norming an assistant that they're sending out to every classroom in order to help score and give feedback on the work. This keeps everybody consistent and aligned, but still keeps teachers in the driver's seat. So to access that assistant, we are going to start by going to Add Assignment from our home dashboard. And instead of clicking Classroom Assignment, which is if we were building the assignment on our own, we're going to go to District Assignment. This filters all of the assignments in the library down to only those assignments that are provided by our organization, our district, our school, whomever it is that shared this with us. I'm going to go ahead and click this Social Media CER paragraph, and I'm going to click Use Assignment. There are two routes that we can go down. One is I have given this assignment in a platform like Renaissance DNA or Illuminate, and I'm literally going to take the work out of that system and I'm going to hand it to the assistant that I've just clicked on. The other route, which we're not demonstrating in this video, is I could have that assistant circulate class and give feedback to students in the moment while they write on the EnlightenAI platform. Set that aside for now. We're going to click Import from Illuminate, and we're now going to select the classes that we have pulled work out of Illuminate from. We could pull out work from all three of these classes, but in my case, I've actually only pulled out work for History Grade 5. I'm going to confirm and continue, and I'm going to be invited to upload that work. So when I click Upload and find the assignment, it has now successfully been uploaded from Illuminate, and I can click Next. It looks like there's one student where there's a roster error. This is probably a spreadsheet error on my side, so I might go back in and fix this. For the demo purposes, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to confirm the matches, and I'm going to retitle this Demo Video, and I'm going to click Next. I'm assigning this a name because later on, I want to be able to understand and know what it is that I named it. And in this case, Demo Video is it, but for you, it might be End of Unit Assessment, period 1. I'm going to click Next, and now what's happened is these submissions by students have been split into my classes or deposited into my classes. And if there are any submissions like the one that you saw that were not matched up with one of my classes, where there's a student there that isn't actually on my roster, maybe it's a student who was just dropped from the rosters, those are going to go into a separate section called Other Uploads that isn't going to get passed along as part of this assessment data. But I can still score that work if there's just sort of some roster issue that was popping up. I'm going to click on this one class, and you'll notice that when I do so, everything's already been done for me. There is a rubric that was already embedded. There are assignment details that were already provided. There may be instructions to the AI assistant that have already been given. And in fact, my district admin may have already actually graded 5 or so samples of student work and trained the AI by way of example. So there's a lot that's already been packaged up, which is why we say this is like your admin or your network team basically providing you with an assistant, and you are now handing the work to that assistant to score along with them. That doesn't mean you're out of the process by any respect. When you start grading, the assistant is still going to draft comments and feedback, and you are still the final arbiter of what is going to go back to students. You can adjust the scores, you can adjust the feedback comments, and the assistant is going to continue to adapt and tailor to what you say is the final say. Now, in some schools and settings, what we find is that schools like to default to the assistant and then have teachers iterate on top of that. So to do that, this assistant already came trained. Someone already provided us with training, with calibration, with assignment details. It is as if we are picking up where another teacher left off. And so we can actually start by clicking this Grade Remaining button. And what this is going to do is the assistant is actually going to take the first pass on all 19 of these submissions. And our job now becomes to review and approve each one. So we can still make final adjustments. Nothing has gone back to students. We can adjust the scores. We can adjust the feedback. We can move these up. We can move these down. We can adjust the comments. But it is as if the TA has already taken the work and brought it back to us for final review. Now from here, the final step, when we finish reviewing and approving all of these, is going to be to actually hand back the feedback handout to students. Because this work came out of a different platform where there is no document per se to put the work back onto, we can send feedback via PDF. So I'm going to click this PDF button. And what you'll see here is just the first submission PDF file. Now, there is a bulk send option here where I can generate all of these PDFs in one fell swoop, but I'm just gonna not do that now because it takes a second in order for us to do that. In addition, if I want to, I can even post these scores directly back to Illuminate by clicking the Post to Gradebook button. Illuminate will give us a scorebook, and if we drop the scorebook into this field, we are able to then walk through the steps to basically copy and paste the scores back to Illuminate. That may come in a separate video. This is already one of our longer ones, but it is one of the most crucial and important for you to understand. So we hope this is clear, and please reach out if you do have any questions or needs.